For those who don't know, I am an ex-employee of Blockbuster Video. I loved it. I loved working there. It was where my love of movies really got a huge boost. So when I heard that Netflix was going to be making a sitcom based in the last remaining store, I was interested. So let's talk about Blockbuster. Timmy Yoon is an analog dreamer living in a 5G world. After he finds out that he is operating the very last Blockbuster Video in America, Timmy and his staff employees, including his longtime crush, Eliza, fight to stay relevant. The only way to succeed is to remind their community that they provide something that big corporations can't: human connection. The series stars Randall Park, Melissa Fumero, and J.B. Smoove. I apologize for not putting out a video in about a week, but I've been sick. It's nothing to be scared of or anything like that. Just, it takes me a while to get over a cold. So that's just the way it is. But anyway, I hope you're ready for this one. There are a lot of problems with this show. Like, there's no real way to sugarcoat it or anything like that. But let's start off with the good things. I really like the set design of the store and the way that things are laid out. It looks like it could be a real store in some cases. There are some problems that I will get to, but there were moments where, yeah, I feel like this could be real. But it's not. This is definitely a set. The show is set in Michigan, and the real last Blockbuster is in Bend, Oregon. And really, that's as far as it goes with the good. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that the actors were bad. I disagree. And the reason I say that is because I actually like a lot of the actors. I don't think it's them though. I think it's the writing. The writing is not great. It just doesn't feel natural at all. Like, I don't know anybody that talks to each other in the way that people talk in this show. It's just manufactured. It feels manufactured. It feels just inauthentic, and it's supposed to be a comedy, right? This is supposed to be funny. I'm going to be honest with you here. In 10 episodes, roughly 25 minutes each, I laughed one time. That's not an exaggeration. What's weird is that they focus on a lot of each character, and kind of what they're doing and what they're going through and all that. And it's strange. The one that I found the most interesting is the one they spent probably the least time on. And that's Kamaya Fairbairn's character named Kayla. I actually found her to be interesting because, I don't know, I found her to be the most authentic of everybody. Now, here are some of the things that just aren't true about Blockbuster working there. First off, the manager's office wasn't a studio apartment, with bookshelves and a nice desk and a couch. And no, that didn't exist. Okay. The manager's office in my store was literally like a closet. I mean, there was barely enough room for one person, let alone two or more, or a couch or anything like that. I was like, have you been in a Blockbuster before? How many employees does a store need? There were 6 people working like all the time. And that's just, I don't know. That's just not the way things work. I found it to be like, this is really strange that there's so many employees. I don't know. It's just weird to me. Now, these next two might be like, oh, well, really? This is not that big of a deal. But there's no break room in a Blockbuster. There wasn't. You could basically go into the storeroom and, yeah, there was a place typically to sit down. But, yeah, it wasn't a break room. It was literally the storage room. There was no TV. There was no refrigerator or kitchen or anything like that. It was literally just a room where we stored all the boxes and all the stuff for the store. That's really it. And I found that like I feel like they're just trying to make The Office in a way, like remake The Office. It's very strange. The other thing that I kept noticing, and this is probably something that's not going to bother anybody else, okay? But the subcategory names that were listed on the tops of the shelves, I don't know how anyone would find anything in this store, because you would have drama and comedy and action, stuff like that. You wouldn't have rom-com or, noir hits or something. I was sitting there going, nobody can find anything in the store. I guarantee it. It's almost like someone read a story about a Blockbuster before and maybe saw a picture or two inside a Blockbuster and decided to make a show around it. There's really no reality based in this at all. And there was more to working at Blockbuster than just, spouting off quotes from movies to each other. That's not what working at Blockbuster was like. It just wasn't. And where are all the customers? Like the actual customer interactions. There's like maybe one per episode, maybe. And sometimes it was like, it just, like I said, it didn't feel authentic, like at all. The strange thing is that there are a lot of times watching this show where I don't even know why it's based around Blockbuster. Like, why is the show called Blockbuster? It's almost like the writers are doing everything they can to get out of the store, to have things happen outside or in other parts of the little shopping center or wherever. Like, it's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's in a Blockbuster. And it feels like, in a lot of ways, like it's an inconvenience that they have to keep going back to it. And it's almost like they pitched this as a comedy in a store, like Superstore, right? Which is apparently the showrunner created Superstore. And then at the last minute they said, well, let's just set it in the last Blockbuster. But why though? I actually feel like I'm being too kind here, because I'll just say this. If I wasn't already committed to watching this show because I worked at a Blockbuster, I would have turned it off after the first episode. And yeah, I never would have looked back. So I'm curious. Has anybody else watched this show? Did you find any of it funny? Did you like any of it? Is there anything that you found, I don't know, authentic to being an actual person that works in a retail situation? I don't know. I was more annoyed by the show than anything. So I'm kind of curious, but let me know down below what you're thinking. We'll talk about it. So thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.